Hi, class. It's Dr. Lindner. Welcome to Pathophysiology Bio 210. What I'd like to do is just kind of give you an overview of the flow of the course, what it looks like in Moodle. I'll go over a few key essentials of the syllabus and then let you know what your weekly responsibilities will be. Really, for the course, self-discipline is probably the most important thing because it's an online asynchronous course. What does that mean? That means, the tendency is some students would say, I got time, I'll do it later in the week. And then what happens is later in the week comes and, Murphy's Law kicks in and your computer dies or, you know, you don't feel well or you're sick, right? So um, I really encourage my students to get the work done as early in the week as possible so you have plenty of time at the end of the week. Should you need to tweak anything, especially with your assignments, okay? So let me just show you when you get into your course, there'll be a little introductory welcome message from me. Please make the time to review that. You can click on the syllabus, and when you do, it will open up to this. Okay, so let's just focus on a few key items that I think is important to see here as a reference. You do have the course description. If you need me for office hours, you can find my email up here. These are the learning goals and the expected outcomes. So make the time to kind of go through it. The prerequisites, you have to have completed A&P1, A&P2, or Bio 203 and Bio 204. Many students here have had me for these courses because I teach them both. Chem 109, your course materials, it's going to be the book by Gould, Gould's Pathophysiology for Health Professions. We're currently on the 7th edition. If you have the 6th edition, it's not the end of the world, but you want to be and have the most current edition. And here's the ISBN number, okay? Okay, Turnitin. I do use Turnitin every single week. When students submit their case studies, for each week there are case studies with questions that you'll be doing. You're going to upload your assignment where you're required to upload just the general work. And there's each week you're also going to be taking your case studies, creating one Word document, and uploading it to Turnitin. And Turnitin will give me a pretty good evaluation of it, especially in terms of plagiarism. And there's also an AI checker. I know a lot of students are using artificial intelligence and using ChatGPT and other applications. The new Turnitin software actually has an AI evaluator. So please, please put your own time and effort into doing the work. I really just want to see your interpretation of it, your critical thinking with it. Okay, not AI's. There's a certain appearance we all know that AI has, and I don't want to see that. I want to see your work. Okay, examinations. There's going to be 7 exams and then a final exam. Um, the exams carry the weight of 50%, and your case studies carry the weight of 40%. And then the final exam is 10%. And it's kind of like a cumulative kind of case study um, type of exam. Uh, the beauty of the online asynchronous course is that I give my students 3 days to take the exam. So there's never really an excuse as to why a student couldn't take it on a particular day. I give you a 3-day window that takes into account any special holidays, birthdays. If you weren't feeling well on a Friday, you could take it Sunday. All right, so we open them up Friday morning. You could take it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. After Sunday, at 11:59, 59 seconds Eastern Standard Time, it locks. Okay, so please look at the exam schedule ahead of time, mark it on your calendar, and you should be okay. But that's the beauty of asynchronous online courses. I think they're wonderful because you have the freedom to watch the videos and review them whenever you want throughout the week and take the exam over a 3-day window. All right. When you take your exams, they are using Lockdown Browser with Respondus. So you want to make sure that you are very familiar with the requirements of how to do a proper environment scan and the best practices when it comes to taking an online exam. Just keep in mind, you need to create an environment almost as if your instructor was there in the classroom. You know how the instructor would walk up and down the aisles and look in and make sure that, the floor is clear, there's no notes out, your desk is clear, there's no notes out. So you're going to be doing the same thing, and there's very clear steps in terms of scanning your entire desk. I advise my students get a little coffee table, put your computer on it, and that's it. So there's very little to scan. But you would scan your entire desk from corner to corner. You would scan the room slowly, 360 degrees, make sure there's no notes on the wall, as well as the ceiling and the floor. If there is another monitor that's on your desk, you have to show that it's unplugged and it doesn't turn on. Your eyes, your head has to always be in the field of view. Just really common sense basics. Otherwise, Respondus will flag anything that's inappropriate, and we review all of the exams. So just be familiar with that. In terms of your case studies each week, I think it's heavy loaded in the first half of the class. Each week, there's typically about 2 case studies that you'll be reviewing. And then the second half of the class, it really eases up quite a bit, where some weeks you won't have a case study, some weeks there's one. But in the beginning, it's heavier in the first half of the class. Okay, so just be aware of that. And then you'll be able to breathe much better in the second half. So that counts as 40%. You can see your exams are 50%, case studies 40, and the final exam is 10%. Here's the grading scale for Adelphi. Late submission policy. There are no major research papers and major projects to do. It's just the case studies. Now, you want to make sure they're submitted on time, even if they're a minute late. It doesn't matter. Please don't send me emails. I do not entertain them. Don't send me an email like, sorry, it's 2 minutes late. Please don't penalize me. I'm trying to train my students for accountability, responsibility, and you have all week to do the work. And if you should wait for the last few minutes and there's a delay, that's on you. It's not on me. Okay. So there will be a 25% deduction for anything submitted past 11:59 and 59 seconds Eastern Standard Time. So even if it's the perfect paper, you're starting with a C, and then each day thereafter, it's an additional 10%. So that's why I strongly suggest do your case studies early in the week, and then you can relax and just kind of study a little bit, read and review my videos ahead of time. Okay. All right. So that's the only thing I'm really a stickler for is timeliness and the submissions, making sure they're on time. Okay. At the end of the syllabus, you can see each week the topics, and you can see the exams in red and what chapters we'll be covering. And for each chapter, there's a video. Please don't do what many students do. And students have done it in my anatomy courses, my pathophysiology. They don't watch the videos and they just focus on the PowerPoints. And if you do that, you'll be disappointed in your grade, because as I'm teaching it and I'm lecturing, you can see with my tone how I'm hinting and stressing, hey, this would make a good test question, or hey, if this shows up on the exam, right? So I kind of guide you with that. even if you're watching it, you want to speed up the time frame a little bit to like, 1.5, do that. Just don't go by the PowerPoints. I don't want to see my students get jammed up and fail a test because, oh, doc, I just studied the PowerPoints. I didn't listen to you teach the information. So there's the week by week, the chapters, and then of course at the very end, you'll have a final exam and a 3-day window for that as well. Okay. All right. Let's go back to, so that's the syllabus. Let's look at the case rubric because you'll see that each week, if we just look at week 1, for example, here are the chapters, the outlines. You'll see here are the PowerPoints, so you can print them up, download them, and print them. And then here are my lectures. So here's the chapter 1 PowerPoint. Here's my lecture 1 video that goes along with the PowerPoint. Here's chapter 5 PowerPoint. Here's my lecture videos for them. So please make sure, watch them, watch them. Week 1, you also have to do a practice quiz. Now, this is a quiz that doesn't have any content. It's not testing your knowledge of any A&P or Pathophys. What it is making sure that you can follow these instructions. It's due before the end of the first week. And if you don't do it properly, I'm going to send you an email that you have to redo it. Meaning, if you're saying to yourself, hey, this quiz really doesn't count for anything, I'm going to have my notes, I'm going to have my phone on the desk, I'm going to have I don't know, some notes, a book, corkboard out, my iPad out. Pretend that this is the exam, have your student ID out and do the proper scan as directed. I review them all. I review each and every one of them. I also review each and every exam to make sure that for student integrity. So if there's something that isn't done properly, I'm going to send you feedback, ask you to redo it, or at least to acknowledge what was done improperly so that you don't make the error and get deductions of points on the major exams. That's the purpose of the practice quiz. It's just showing me you can read and follow instructions and do the environment scan and the additional instructions. So you'll see in week 1, there's 2 cases, and you'll also see the turn it in place. So the uploads of the work are happening here, but then the third place is you're going to take all of your work for case 1, case 2, make one Word document, and upload it here for the turn it in to check in. So what are the requirements for the case studies, whether it's for week 1, week 10, each and every week? Let's look at that and see what we have. So here's the case study rubric. The max score you can earn each week is 100 points. And here's the rubric, here's the breakdown. The biggies are, half of the work is just on your research and your critical thinking. The rest are just these little things. Okay, did you put the case study? Did you bold it? Did you retype the question? Right? These are just some basics, but I want to make sure that everything's numbered properly. Your question is there, the topic. I can see your research clearly labeled. And then I can see your critical thinking clearly labeled. And again, you'll see research and critical thinking for each and every question. Research and critical thinking for all the questions. And then at the very, very end, before your references and citations, there's a word count. Now, I can tell pretty much how much time and effort a student put in by what time they uploaded it. Did they upload it at 11:58? That pretty much means to me that a student was working on it last minute, and that's okay. That's okay if like you work all week and hey, Sunday I'm going to get this done, and your word count is up there. I know you put the time and effort in. But if I see 800 words, 1,000 words, I know you can expect that a grade, think of a grade as energy points. If you put 80 or 90% of your time and energy into the quality of the work, All I'm doing is mirroring back your time and effort that you put into it. And I love to see my students engulfed in the work. If you put the time and energy and you care about your education and you care about the work and your work ethic, I love to see that. And I want to give hundreds and 90s. I love to do that. I enjoy being part of my students' success. I really, really do. But if you slack and you don't do it, remember, these are the things that you're in control of. You're in control of your case study work. You already know the rubric, you know what I'm looking for. So 40% of your grade, you're in control of. 50% is a little bit unpredictable, right? Because it's the exams. But again, with that, I guide you in the right direction with my PowerPoints and the leads when I'm teaching and lecturing. Okay. And so the word count comes before the references and the works cited. Okay. So these are all the different things that I'm looking for in terms of the rubric. So it's there. It's there for you. And again, put the time and effort into this. You can use your textbook, you can use the internet, you can use any resource, as long as it's a scholarly resource peer reviewed, not a blog, obviously, but it has to be scholarly. Okay, let's just see if there's anything else that I need to cover. So that's and again, so you got the syllabus here, you got the case study rubric here. I even give samples of what a case should look like. Here's a video on the exam procedures, making sure that you do a proper environment scan, scanning your entire desk, your room very slowly, your ceiling and your floor. No smart watches during exam. Don't wear a hat. Don't cover your eyes. Your face has to be in the field of view at all time, because if you're on a bed or a desk, which is not, or a couch, which is not proper, I've been speaking here for a while to my students, and never once did this happen. Right? You didn't lose the field of view. So I'm in a fixed chair. My computer is on a fixed desk. And that's how you want to take your exams. You don't want to be on a bed and not a couch. That's not acceptable. You will lose points for that. No earbuds. Make sure your Bluetooth is turned off on your computer so that we get sound. It's really important. And what else do we have? Announcements. So if there's any major announcements that I need to make, if you have questions that you want to ask each other in the course, you can certainly do that here. And other than that, it's a week by week, play by play, same flow each and every week. On week 2, you'll see here's the PowerPoints, here are my 2 videos that go along with it, and that's your first exam on which chapters. Here are the case studies. You'll upload each one individually, but then you will combine these, make one Word document, and turn it in check for that. Same thing. Now you move on to week 3. Looks like chapter 4 and 20. Here's the PowerPoints. These are the video lectures. These are the 2 case studies. So case study 5 is only on pain. You'll upload that there. Week 6 on cancer, answer the questions, always with research, critical thinking. At the very, very end, there's a word count. And after that, you can do your citations and references. And again, you'll take both of these, put it in one Word document, and upload it for Turnitin. It's the same pattern week after week after week. And that pretty much covers it. So I do hope you enjoy how the course is organized, student responsibilities, download the PowerPoints, watch my videos, discipline yourself so that you can watch the videos, make some little notes in the PowerPoints, do your case studies early in the week, upload each one individually, then make one Word document of both and put it through Turnitin. The exams, every 2 weeks or so, you'll have an exam. Respondus lockdown browser, do your proper environment scan, follow the procedures. The Respondus students like to know, well, what do we see at our end? It flags things. That's all it is. It's an application. So if a student looks like this, I'll get a flag. If a student looks down and the eyes aren't on the screen, we get a flag notification with the time frame to check. Now, if you happen to look away, just show the camera what it is you were looking at. It's fine. Maybe your cat walked away. Then here's what I was looking at. You can see my dog over here. Show it. But then you have to do another environment scan. You have to scan your desk one more time, okay, while everything is still rolling. That's all. But everything is straightforward. You should enjoy the course. There's lots of information, very practical information. You'll walk out of this course much stronger and much more prepared with all the information you learned in anatomy and physiology, which is all normal. Now we're just taking a curveball to it, so it's pathophysiology. All right, everyone, enjoy the course. I'm looking forward to everyone being super successful in it. Do your work, put your time and effort in. Always, always, always do your very, very best. If you can do your very best and you can look in the mirror and say, I did my very best, I put my very best effort in, then I will applaud that. Okay? All right, everyone, enjoy the course.